Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Yep. Start at 8 minutes. Sound good? We'll start at 8 minutes. I'll start talking.
Welcome to Wahoo High School and the Class C11 district final action here at Wahoo High School. It's the Wahoo Warriors coming in at 23-1, taking on the 16 seed, the St. Paul Wildcats, who are 10-11. We start with Wahoo, who is 23-1 on the year. They average 67 points a game, and they're led by Marcus Glock at 16.5 a game. So Marcus Glock's a 3-level scorer. It's going to be really tough tonight for St. Paul to handle him. But for the Wildcats, they're 10-11, coming off a sub-district final win. Both of these teams won their sub-districts. That's why they are here. St. Paul, after a one-year absence a year ago, they are back in the district final, while Wahoo has made the state tournament 3 years in a row and are looking to continue that streak here tonight. It's Wahoo, who is 23-1, 67 points a game. Three of their 5 starters are in double figures, while St. Paul is 10-11, and they're riding hot. They've won their last 4 games, and both of these teams run pretty thin rotation-wise. Each team plays 7 guys. But we start with Wahoo, and they had a really tough schedule in the regular season, but they proved that well as they beat Bennington, who won their district final last night, 60-43. They beat a Platteview team who's ranked 2nd in Class B twice. They beat Creek, who's ranked 5th, and then they beat Ashland Greenwood twice. Beat Ashland Greenwood. That's their only loss, and then they beat them in the sub-district final last Thursday night. So it should be a really great matchup tonight between the St. Paul Wildcats, who are 10-11, and the Wahoo Warriors, who are 23-1. Wahoo, after Marcus Glock, it is Anthony Simon at 9.5 a game and Benji Nelson at 10.5 per game. But not only is Wahoo great scoring the ball, they defend extremely well, holding Ashland Greenwood, who was ranked 2nd in Class C1, to just 32 points in their sub-district final. And defensively, I really just think it starts in the middle with Benji Nelson, who's 6'7" senior. He's 10 points, 3 rebounds, but he affected a lot of shots last Thursday night. And then Garrett Grangenet and Owen Hancock out on the perimeter playing excellent on-ball defense. Wahoo will once in a while go to a 1-3-1 and to a press, which is a 2-2-1 press. But other than that, it's straight man-to-man, and they have great help, very fundamentally sound. And then for St. Paul, they had a little different route to get here. They, after losing 6 in a row, they've won their last 4, and they're up to 10-11 after 2 good wins over Centura and Ord to get here in their sub-district, but they've had some really bad losses as well. They've lost to 3 teams who are under 500 and Midland by 4 in overtime, Centura, and then Grand Island Central Catholic by 6 and 8 respectively. But St. Paul is very different from Wahoo. They don't have a starter that is over 6'3". It's Sam Wells, Sam Kramer, Bryce Knapp. Espen Gotosh is their tallest player at 6'3", but other than that, it is pretty short all the way around for St. Paul. So we're just under 5 minutes until game time. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout and return with Class C11 district final action here at Wahoo High School. district final basketball. It's the St. Paul Wildcats, the 16 seed, taking on the number 1 overall seed in Class C1, the Wahoo Warriors. As we are now going to go through some other district finals from around Class C1. This is the C11 district final. In C12, it's Ogallala. They defeated Adams Central last night 66-30, so the Indians are headed to state. Ashland Greenwood defeats Winnebago 71-51, so the Blue Jays are going to state as probably the 3 seed. At 6:30 tonight, Pierce is going to host Scotus Catholic. At 6 o'clock at Central City, Concordia takes on Holdridge. In C16, Cozad hosts Sydney and Aurora in the 6-11. Last night, Central City defeated Wayne 43-38 in the 7-10. And then at 7 o'clock at Auburn, Auburn takes on Lincoln Lutheran, the Warriors. So the winner goes to state. Wahoo tries to make it for the 4th consecutive year. They made it in Class B in 2020, and then in Class C the last 2 years. So we're about a minute and a half to go. But Warriors, they are a very good ball club. They have 2 NAIA commits in their starting lineup, with Garrett Grangenet, who's on his way to Concordia, and Anthony Simon, who's going to Briarcliff. But I think it starts and stops with Marcus Glock. He was really held in check against Ashland Greenwood, but he really didn't have to do much because his teammates did a lot. He was held to just 6 points in the win over Ashland Greenwood. So we'll see if he can really break out of it and get going before, if they win, and he would get going for the state tournament. But we are going to have our national anthem and our starting lineup here in about 45 seconds. So we're going to take about a 2-minute break, and we'll be back here at Wahoo High School. Welcome back to Wahoo High School as we have our starting lineups. We start with the St. Paul Wildcats. Number 0, 5'11" sophomore Gage Sack. A 6'2" junior, number 1, Sam Wells. A 6' senior, number 3, Bryce Knapp. A 6'3" senior, number 5, Espen Gochet. And a 6'3" junior, number 13, Chris Thomas. And now for the Warriors, It's Marcus Glock at 16.5 per game. He's the leading scorer for the Warriors. A junior guard at number 1, Owen Hancock, 6'3" senior, 8-point per game, 4 rebounds and a pair of assists on 55% from the field. Benji Nelson, 10.5 a game, 6'7" senior, 3.5 rebounds and assists and a half per game on 53% for the field. Garrett Grangenet, the 6'3" senior, 5 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds and 1 assist, 49% from the field. And then Anthony Simon, 9.5 a game and 5 rebounds on 45% from the field, the senior guard. Warriors are 23-1 against the Wildcats, who are 10-11. It should be a great matchup tonight here at Wahoo High School between the Wildcats, number 16 seed, and the Warriors, the number 1 seed. It will be Benji Nelson and Aspen Gochet to jump it up, and the Warriors win the tip, and we're underway here in the C1 district final. Here is Grangenet, goes right wing to Simon, back to the top to Hancock, swings left side to Glock. Glock's going to try to drive baseline, lost the handle, kicks back to Nelson at the top. He'll try the 3. Benji Nelson in and out, no good. Ball running around, and we're going to have a travel as Sam Wells couldn't quite corral it off the rebound. So the Warriors get it back off the Nelson miss. It's the first turnover of the game for St. Paul, and Wahoo will have it underneath. It'll be Hancock to throw it in, he gets it into Simon. Back to the corner for Owen Hancock, guarded by Wells, in the high post to Nelson. Now it's Gangenet driving right by Thomas, up with the left hand, and it's good. And Wahoo will get into that 2-2-1 press. Wells to a cutting Knapp in the middle. Knapp on the right wing. Gets it back to the top to Wells, swings left side to Sack. Wahoo straight man-to-man, Sack into the lane, lost the ball. Now to Wells, baseline jumper about 17 feet away, and that one's well long. Rebounded by Simon. The other way, Hancock up to Grangenet. Grangenet, counted and one. A quick 4 points for Garrett Grangenet. The foul is going to go against Gage Sack. His first personal foul and the first Wildcat team foul. Garrett Grangenet, 56% on the from the year on the line, and it's good. So he has the first 5 for Wahoo. In the corner, now back to the top, and they give it back to Knapp. He goes on the right side to Thomas. Thomas, Wahoo stays in the trap. Thomas will go cross court back to Bryce Knapp. Knapp dribbles it at the top of the key. He's going to dribble it right, stop, get cut off by Simon. Now dribbling it back left. Knapp in the lane, kicks to Gage Sack. Sack gets into the lane, now drives to Knapp. Knapp on the left wing, back to the top to Wells. His second shot of the ball game is going to be short, no good. Tipped by Benji Nelson, he's got the rebound. He's going to run the fast break. Great bounce pass down the floor. Marcus Glock is going to get fouled on the way up for 2 shots. The foul is on Sam Wells. It's his first and the second Wildcat team foul. Marcus Glock at the line. And Glock nails the first one. 89% on the year for Glock. He nails the first of 2. Warriors as a team shoot 66% from the line, and Glock nails the second. Warriors with a quick 7-0 lead, just a minute and 25 in. Gage Sack will throw it in. He gets it in. Now it goes back to Sack, who the inbounder. Sack dribbling. Cut off, and he finds Gotesh. Had it knocked away by Nelson. Nelson has the steal for the Warriors. Bounced it up ahead of Hancock. Gives it back. Grangenet, cross court pass to Simon. Now to Nelson. Nelson traveled with it. Timeout, Bob Fuller. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take a 30-second break here at Wahoo High School. It's a Class C1-1 district final action here at Wahoo High School. Welcome back to Wahoo High School and the Class C11 District Final. It's the St. Paul Wildcats trailing the Wahoo Warriors 7-0, not 2 minutes into this first quarter. Breaking the press and having it knocked away is St. Paul. And this is Bryce Knapp, guarded by Hancock. Knapp finds Sack. Sack on the left wing. Sack will cross over. Gage Sack. They switch the ball screen with Glock. Sam Wells will try the three. That one's long. Thomas fighting for the rebound. And a defensive rebound by Garangenet. The other way comes Glock. Lob! Nelson couldn't finish it. Ball on the ground. Flipping at Hancock. He finds Simon. And Anthony Simon drains the three. Anthony Simon has his first bucket of the ball game, and it's 10-0 Warriors. Wells has got it. Wells, kick. Sack, his three-pointer. Well off. The other way comes Glock. Glock finds Simon in the corner. Make it 2 in a row for Anthony Simon. 13-0 Warriors. Sack. Throw it away. Cameron Kasiski checks in for Wahoo, along with Trey Simon, replacing Nelson and Garangenet. Trey Simon, 6'7" senior. Kasiski, a 6'2" senior. This is Simon. They're looking to get a post touch to Hancock. They get it to him, guarded by Wells. Spinning in the post. Owen Hancock for two. 15-0 Warriors. Here's Wells. Wells gives it back to Gotesh. Gotesh, cross court to Wells. Wells spins around Simon. He had it tipped away, and it goes back to St. Paul. Sack will throw it in. Sack gets it to Thomas. Thomas will face up and pass it back to Wells. Wells behind his back. Wells cut off. Wells still dribbling around. Finds Sack. Sack at the high post. Now dribbles it back out. Gage Sack's got it for St. Paul. Driving. Underneath. Pushes back the Warrior defender. And it's tipped around and rebounded by Marcus Glock. Glock pushing the fast break for Wahoo. Here's Kasiski. What? Nice find to Simon. His three. Comes up short. And Sam Wells clears the board for St. Paul. Wells guarded by Simon. Wells. Left side he goes to Knapp. Knapp driving left on Trey Simon. Knapp got stuck, finds Wells. Wells skips to Sack. Sack into the lane on Trey Simon and got stripped by Owen Hancock. 3-on-1 for the Warriors. Pick your poison if you're Kasiski. Threw it a little late to Glock, but he was fouled before that. It'll be underneath. Foul is on Bryce Knapp. It's his first and the third Wildcat team foul. Substitutions for Wahoo. Nelson and Garangenet return, replacing Hancock and Simon. Trey Simon will throw it in. Simon. Underneath he goes to Garangenet. It's no good, and Gage sacked the board. Garangenet had a little bit more time than he thought he did. Rushed to the shot a little bit and came up a little bit short. Bryce Knapp drives, comes to a jump stop, goes up, and spins it over the rim for two. Bryce Knapp puts the Wildcats on the board. It's 15-2. Glock, guarded by Knapp, flips to Nelson, coming off of a off-ball screen. Trey Simon from the baseline. That's an air ball. And Gage sacked the board. Back-to-back stops for the Wildcats. Wells threw it out of bounds. Wells tried to throw it to Knapp. He wasn't looking. Benji Nelson brings it up for the Warriors. Nelson, right side to Glock, rejects the ball screen, goes baseline. A little floater from the right baseline is good. And Marcus Glock has four now for the Warriors. Wells breaks the press. Wells gets it to Plaskotch. Underneath, it was tipped around, out of bounds. It stays with St. Paul with 2:35 to play first quarter. To throw it in, and they get it to Gotesh. Gotesh finds Plosik. Plosik in the lane. Came from behind, and they're going to call it a foul against Trey Simon. Simon reached in from behind, and they're going to whistle him for the foul. First foul against the Warriors. Warriors don't foul very much. They average less than 10 fouls a game as a team. But the first one right there, a little too over-aggressive by Trey Simon. So the Wildcats have the ball. 2:20 to play first quarter. They run a little ball screen action. They go underneath. Shot no good. Plosik got the offensive rebound, and he was fouled after the Espen Gotesh miss. So John Plosik will go to the line for two. The foul on Benji Nelson. So now each of the Wahoo big guys have one foul each, and going to the line for two is John Plosik. Tried to use the window for the first one, no good. Chris Thomas back into the lineup, replacing Sam Kramer, the 6-foot guard. Plosik, no good. Nelson the board, and he'll bring it up the other way. Benji Nelson, right side to Kasiski. Kasiski will use the Trey Simon ball screen. Thought about a Trey, goes cross court to Marcus Glock. Glock's going to drive into the lane, pull up jumper from about 17, no good, and Christopher Thomas clears the board for the Wildcats. Wahoo's missed their last 3 shots after the Glock make. Knapp on Nelson. Jump stops, find Plosik. Plosik in the lane. Now finds Thomas. Thought about a 3, driving on Trey Simon. He'll dribble it back out. Thomas flips to Wells. Wells lost it. On the floor, Kasiski. And the other way come the Warriors. Glock to Nelson. Sidesteps Thomas. Lefty finish is good for Benji Nelson. Nelson with his first 2 of the night, and it's 19-2. Here's Christopher Thomas. Knocked away. Still trying to get a loose. Trey Simon knocked it out of bounds and then threw it into the seats. So with 70 seconds to play here in the first quarter, it's Wahoo Warriors 19 and St. Paul 2. Thomas to throw it in, gets it to Wells. Wells will get it to Knapp and gives it back to Wells. Wells drives to the baseline, cut off by Kasiski. Wells, a lot of dribbling, had it poked away out of bounds. It stays with the Wildcats. Wells right there just trying to do a little bit too much. Got to give it up when he gets into that deep corner. So now a tough spot to inbound it for John Plosik for the Wildcats. Plosik gets it into Knapp. 55 seconds to play first quarter. It's Plosik. Drives left on Anthony Simon, cut off. Finds Plosik now from the Knapp pass. Bounce pass, nice find to Christopher Thomas, who missed the layup. Benji Nelson was the one who affected that shot. He goes cross court to Kasiski. Kasiski with a nice pass inside to Grand Jeanette. Grand Jeanette taken away by Thomas. Wells. Wells back to Thomas. Now to Plosik. Wells, pull up 3. Off the window for Sam Wells. He has his first 2 points. Wahoo the other way. Here's Anthony Simon. 19-5. Warriors will hold for the last shot here in the first quarter. Simon, high ball screen from Grand Jeanette. Simon has the switch. Simon crossing over left. A floater at the horn, no good. Christopher Thomas will not have the rebound. We've played 1 quarter at Wahoo High School here in the Class C1-1 district final. It's the Wahoo Warriors 19 and the St. Paul Wildcats 5. We'll be back at Wahoo High School with district final action. Welcome back to Wahoo High School. It's the second quarter action. It's the Wahoo Warriors 19 and the St. Paul Wildcats 5. It's St. Paul with the basketball, and it's Espen Gotesh who will throw it into Bryce Knapp. Here's Knapp. He's going to try to split it, and he will. Finds Sack. Gage Sack. Finds Sam Wells. He'll try the three, and that one's in and out. Chris Thomas got the offensive rebound, blocked from behind by Nelson, and the Warriors are headed the other way. Grand Jeanette up and under, blocked from behind by Thomas, but they're going to whistle for a foul. They call it on Chris Thomas. It's his first and the fourth Wildcat team foul. Grand Jeanette will knock down the first free throw. He has the first points of the second quarter for the Warriors. Grand Jeanette knocks down two. He has 7 to lead all scorers. Here's the Wildcats with the ball. Gotesh had it knocked away by Nelson, out of bounds. It's Wildcat ball. 21-5. St. Paul trailing Wahoo. Here's Knapp. Knapp gets it across the half-court line. Knapp dribbles right. Knapp bounces back to Sack right at the half-court line. They're going to trap him. They give it back to Knapp. Knapp's driving through the lane. Cut off by 2 Warriors. Now to Hancock. Now goes to Sack. Sack to the corner to Wells. Stops a jumper. Yes! Sam Wells has got 5 of the 7 for St. Paul. He has the Wildcats on the board here in the second quarter. It's 21-7. Here's Grand Jeanette. Hands to Glock. Glock at top of the key. 3. Yes! For Marcus Glock. Glock now with 7, and it's 24-7. Knapp the other way. Knapp finds Wells. Wells in the lane. Wells a pull-up. It's no good. And an offensive rebound to Wells. He gets his own miss. His 3 is no good. Gage Sack on the offensive glass. Saves it to Thomas. Thomas lost it underneath. Ball on the floor, and Grand Jeanette gets the ball. The other way. Hancock to Nelson. Nelson was going to go dunk it. He lost it on the way up, and it got blocked. Wells got it poked away from behind. Owen Hancock will retrieve it for Wahoo. Hancock now to Simon. Glock, another 3. No. Offensive rebound. Back to Hancock. His three-pointer. It's off the mark. And a defensive rebound by Knapp for the Wildcats. Wells back to Knapp. Knapp back to Wells. Wells lost it. Back to Wahoo. (24-7) in favor of the Warriors. Cameron Kasiski into the ballgame here, replace Benji Nelson. Wildcats with the ball down 17 at 24-7. Here's Sack. Sack gives it back to Knapp for the Wildcats. Dribbling it back is Knapp. He's going to drive left, right on the baseline. Cut off by 2 Warriors. He's in the deep corner. Finds a cutter in Sack, who goes down the lane. Couldn't make the layup. And Anthony Simon clears the board for Wahoo. Glock up the other way for the Warriors. He's cut off. Finds Kasiski. Back to Simon. Simon on Chris Thomas. Simon, rather. And Anthony Simon has his first 2 of the second quarter. He's now got 8 to lead all scorers. Thomas. Now back to Knapp. Knapp. Lost it. Knapp. Driving in. Knapp. A fadeaway inside, and 2 for Bryce Knapp. He's got 4. 26-9. Offensive foul called on Garrett Grand Jeanette. It's his first and the 3rd Warrior team foul. Timeout by Kevin Sheaf. He'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll take one with him. You're at Wahoo High School for the Class C1 District Final. It's the Warriors 26 and the Wildcats 9. Welcome back to Wahoo High School. It's 26-9 in favor of the Warriors. St. Paul has the ball. And it's Sam Wells bringing it up. He's going to go left side. And it's brought in by Sean Kaminsky. Other way, tipped away by Glock and a steal. Marcus Glock the other way. Down the lane, right-handed layup is good. Glock has 5 in the second. And here's Wells, trapped in a corner. Wells will throw it cross court to Kaminsky. Kaminsky will drive to the baseline, have it knocked away, but a foul is called on Cameron Kasiski. First on Kasiski. Fourth Warrior team foul. 4 fouls each for each team. Kaminsky finds Wells. That's a way deep 3, and it's no good. Offensive rebound, and Trey Simon fouled him from behind. Second on Simon in the 5th team foul, and shooting 2 shots will be Shane Kaminsky. Kaminsky's front half of 2 is good. St. Paul is the team now, 1 for 3. Back half of 2 for Shane Kaminsky. No good. Tipped, and Trey Simon's got it. Trey Simon will go to Marcus Glock, and here come the Warriors. Simon underneath to Hancock. Settled himself, finds a cutting. Glock counted and one. It's going to count for Marcus Glock. The foul is on Sam Kramer. It's his first. And the 5th team foul against the Wildcats. Shooting 1 shot is Marcus Glock. 89%er, no good. The other way comes the Wildcats, trailing at 30-10. Kaminsky steps through, finds Thomas. Thomas underneath. He goes up, no good. Simon tips it to himself the other way. Here's Glock. Glock lobbed to Hancock, and he missed the layup. And Chris Thomas has got it the other way. Here's Sam Wells the other way. Tried to throw it over the top, and it was tipped by Hancock. Owen Hancock! Oh, he got fouled from behind by Thomas. He was going to go up and stuff it, but he was fouled on the way up, and he'll shoot a pair. And that's the second on Chris Thomas. Owen Hancock will shoot 2 free throws. Wahoo as a team today is 5 of 6. Hancock's front half of 2 is no good. They missed back-to-back free throws. Garrett Grandjeanette into the lineup, replacing Anthony Simon. 3:27 to play second quarter. It is 30-10 in favor of Wahoo. Substitution for the Wildcats. It's Braxton Heater, the 6-foot freshman. Hancock knocks it down, and he'll be subbed out. Hancock now has 3. Wahoo at the line 6 of 8 as a team. And the Wildcats have the ball, trailing it by 21. Here's Knapp. Knapp the other way. Knapp into the middle. Knapp. A fade away from the right baseline, no good. Gage Sack collects the offensive rebound, just wanted it more. Sack will find Heater, goes back to Sack. Sack to Knapp. Knapp. Wahoo in this tightly 1-3-1 defense. Knapp finds Sack. Sack into the lane, shovels one up for 2, no good. And Kasiski clears the board for the Warriors. Cameron Kasiski down the lane with the left hand off the window for 2. Cameron Kasiski on the board for the first time tonight. He has his first 2, 33-10. Here comes St. Paul. The other way, it's Knapp. Knapp tries to split Simon and Nelson, and that is not going to work. A traveling violation is called. And it's going to go back to Wahoo. Kind of a tough spot for Knapp right there. He had Nelson and Simon, who are each 6'7" respectively. Really not much he could do right there. Wahoo gets the ball back, leading by 23. Glock, left side to Kasiski in the corner to Nelson. Cross-court pass, it goes to Glock. Glock, shovel pass to Simon. He got it shipped away out of bounds. It'll stay with the Warriors. 2:14 to play here in the first half. 33-10 in favor of Wahoo. To throw it in, they go corner. Cameron Kasiski a three. Yes! 5 straight points for Kasiski, and it's 36-10. The other way. Knapp. Nice pass ahead. Gets it to Sack. Sack driving in. Sack. Surrounded. A lot of dribbling. Out of bounds to Wahoo. Minute 45 to play, second quarter. 36-10 Wahoo. Here's Kasiski. Corner to Grangenet. Skip pass over to Glock. Glock to the short corner to Nelson. Shovels to Simons. Underneath. Tipped out of bounds. St. Paul ball. Trey Simon will check out. Owen Hancock back into the lineup. Warriors are going to fall back into a man-to-man, it looks like. Here's Knapp. Knapp. They get the switch with Hancock. Back to Kramer. Kramer driving in. Kramer knocked it. Lost it. Ball on the ground. Kasiski goes to grab it. Ball still alive, and it ends up in the hands of Gage Sheck for the Wildcats. Ball still on the ground, and it ends up in the hands of Kasiski. Kasiski, 3-on-2 to Hancock. Shovels around, trying to get it to Nelson, and it finally gets to him. We're down to 60 seconds left. Simon, Kasiski, 3, well long. Nelson the offensive rebound. Back out to Hancock. His three-pointer. Yes! A 3 for Owen Hancock. And it's a 29-point Warrior lead. Knapp's got it for St. Paul. Here's Sack. Sack dribbles around the right side. Shoveled it underneath. Couldn't handle it right away. Going up, coming up short, and a rebound for Anthony Simon. Benji Nelson up ahead. Crossed it over. Nelson up with the right, counted and one. Benji Nelson will get the and one, and he'll go to the line, try to add to it. The foul is against Bryce Knapp, his second, 7th Wildcat team foul. So one shot for Benji Nelson. Nelson shoots it at 70%, and he nails it. So 20 seconds left. We'll see what the Wildcats can draw up here to try to get some momentum heading into the half. Left side it goes to Sack. Sack. Threw it away. Grangenet up to Nelson. Nelson lays it home. And that'll do it for the first half. Halftime score here at Wahoo High School. It's the Warriors leading by a score of 44-10. We're going to take a 7-minute timeout and come back with 3 minutes left of the halftime break with our halftime report. It's 44-10 in favor of the Warriors at the half. It is the Class C1-1 district final here at Wahoo High School. We good? Welcome back to Wahoo High School, and we're going to hit you with some first half stats. We start with the Warriors. It was Marcus Glock in the first half. He had 13 points for Owen Hancock. He had 6 points. Benji Nelson had 7. Garrett Grangenet had 7. Cameron Kasiski had 5, and Anthony Simon had 8. The Warriors scored 19 in the first quarter. They scored 25 in the second for 44 first half points. For St. Paul, Sam Wells had 5, and Bryce Knapp had 4. And then Sean Kaminsky had 1. 5 in the first quarter for St. Paul, 5 in the second quarter for the Wildcats. So, we have 10 in the first half. Wahoo with a 44-10 lead, so it's looking extremely certain that the Warriors are going to head back to the state tournament. Let's check in on some other games from around the state one more time. In Class B, Omaha Catholic last night defeated Blair 72-42. At 7 o'clock, Platteview will take on Seward. Scottsbluff will take on South Sioux City at 5 o'clock. Elkhorn and Gearing in the 4-13 at 6 o'clock. Crete and Wayne at Waverly at 6:30. Bennington in the 6-11 over Beatrice last night, 44-37. York plays McCook at 6 o'clock in the 7-10. And then last night, Norris defeated Roncalli 39-38 at yesterday. In Class C1, no other results. We went over those earlier in the game. In C2, last night, Freeman defeated Oakland Craig 53-22. Donovan Trumbull defeated Hastings St. Cecilia 39-37. Amherst over Hershey 65-34. Elkhorn Valley defeats Summerlin 71-53. And Norfolk Catholic over Cross County 44-30. Those are all in C2. In Class D1, Johnson Brock defeated Sandy Creek 51-19. Elm Creek over McCool Junction 50-36. Dundee County Stratton over Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family 51-36. Howells Dodge over Bridgeport 56-34. In Class D2, Shelton beats Medicine Valley 90-46. Why Not defeats Tate Springs 79-27. Sumner Eddyville Miller 46-43 over Creighton. And that's all the results in all the classes so far. And then in the Class A, those are just regular districts. In A1, it was Bellevue West over Lincoln Northeast 68-43. In A2, it was Miller North defeating Kearney. As we're ready to get the second half started here at Wahoo High School, and we're going to have the music still on. So we're going to have to get the music turned off before we can continue action here in the second half. And the music is off. And we're ready to start the second half. It'll be the Warriors to have the basketball. It's Anthony Simon at the top. Simon goes right side to Hancock. Hancock off of the Grangenet screen. Left side, Marcus Glock. He'll try a left wing three. It's long, no good. Benji Nelson, and we have a crash right in front of the floor. All right, in front of the Wahoo bench. It's going to be a foul against Wahoo's number 2, Benji Nelson. It's his first team foul of the second half against the Warriors. So St. Paul will have the basketball, trailing 44-10 here in the third quarter. Bryce Knapp has got it for the Warriors, or rather for the Wildcats. Crossing over Marcus Glock, spinning in the lane, goes back to Sam Wells. Wells, fader on the baseline. It's going to spin out, no good, and a rebound by Anthony Simon. Here's Hancock the other way. Hancock will go to Grangenet out of bounds. It goes to St. Paul. So Wahoo starts the second half with a missed shot and a turnover. St. Paul has their second possession after the Sam Wells miss. Here's Bryce Knapp, the senior. 4 seniors in each starting lineup for these two teams. Gage sack underneath with Thomas. He lost the ball. Benji Nelson the other way. Benji Nelson up ahead. They won't want a Hancock. Hancock in the corner to a cutting Simon. Underneath. Back to Hancock. Garrett Grangenet down the lane. Through the contact. No good. Tipped it, and it's going to Benji Nelson's going to go skying out of bounds. Every Warrior saving the ball. It gets back to Grand Jeanette. Owen Hancock driving the lane. Kick. Anthony Simon a three. Yes, and Wahoo deserved to get that three-pointer. Anthony Simon now has 11, and he starts the second half with a three. Every Warrior touched it. Every Warrior had a part in that bucket. 6:25 to play. Gage Sack has got it for St. Paul. Sack driving on Marcus Glock. Sack down the lane, finds Sam Wells, a fading three. Tried to bank it, no good. The other way comes Wahoo. Here's Glock. Glock. Kick. Nelson on Chris Thomas. The reverse, and he spun it home. Timeout by Kevin Sheaf. It's a 30-second timeout. So with 6:05 to go, we'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to the C1 district final here at Wahoo High School. Welcome back to Wahoo High School in the Class C1 district final. It's Wahoo leading St. Paul 49-10. Here the winner headed to the state tournament next week at Bob Devaney Sports Center and Pinnacle Bank Arena. Bryce Knapp has it for the Wildcats. Knapp dribbles left, finds Sam Wells around the screen. Wells attacks, jump stops, fading away, comes up short. Offensive rebound on a foul is charged, as it'll be Aspen Gotesh who's going to the line. Foul charged on Wahoo's Dylan Simons. It's his first and the second Warrior team foul. Gotesh knocks down the first free throw. Gotesh shooting a pair of free throws. No good. Cameron Kasiski has got it for Wahoo. Here's Kasiski. St. Paul jumps into a 1-3-1. Powers. This is Jaden Powers back to Kasiski. Now to Simons. Now into Trey Simon. Kick to Powers. Back to Jaden Powers. His three-pointer. Over the backboard and out of play. Here's Bryce Knapp for the Wildcats. Knapp, left side to Sack. Sack driving to the middle, lost the ball. Powers fighting for it. Powers on the floor. Ball still on the ground. Jump ball. Possession will stay with St. Paul as we approach 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. 49-11 in favor of the Wahoo Warriors. To throw it in is St. Paul's Sack. They go corner to Wells. Pull up three. No good. Kasiski. The other side, it's Powers. Over the top to Simons. Back to Powers. Powers bouncing it in to Hesser. Back to Powers. Powers bounces it back. The other way, it's Kasiski. Finds Hesser. Hesser back. Now Jaden Powers is going to drive. Kick to Kasiski. Now back to Powers. Powers kicks to Hesser. Hesser back to Kasiski. Drops to Trey Simon. Swing pass the other way to Dylan Simons. His three-pointer. Well long. Kasiski on the offensive glass for two. And it becomes a 40-point game. The clock will run from here on out. Kasiski now has 7 for the Warriors. Here's Bryce Knapp, guarded by Jaden Powers. Left side, Knapp goes. Knapp driving. Off the window, no. Trey Simon, an defensive rebound. Up ahead, Cody Hesser. Lost it, got it back. Blocked from behind. Oh, Cameron Kasiski almost got it back for Wahoo, but St. Paul will get the ball back, trailing up by 40. Sam Wells Wells lost the ball. Tried to get it back and will. Wells almost lost it again. Finds Chris Thomas. Wells, a three. No. Sack gets it back. Sack. Ball on the floor, jump ball. And the Wildcats are going to sub out, as well as the Warriors. Into the lineup is Kyler Elliott for Wahoo, along with Keegan Brigham. Powers. Other side it goes to Elliott, back to Powers. Jaden Powers a three. No. Offensive rebound by Elliott. Elliott back to Powers. Kick. Brigham. Brigham back to Powers. Powers swings left side. Elliott. Elliott back to Powers. Cross court it goes. Great find by Hesser. It returns back to Powers. Bounce pass. A three-pointer. Elliott. Yes! Kyler Elliott is going to knock down a three. And great ball movement by the Warriors. It's 54-11 now in favor of Wahoo. Sam Wells bounces. Now it's Kyler Sack into the lane. Sack back to Wells. His three-pointer. It's short and off the iron. And a rebound for Wahoo. Up ahead it goes. Powers. Three. Yes! It spins home. Three for Jaden Powers. And it's now 57-11. And Wells is fouled by Powers. First foul on Jaden Powers. Third Warrior team foul with 1:40 in the third. Minute 25 to go. St. Paul has the ball with Kyler Sack. Sack dribbles it right side. Now goes corner. Thought about a three. Driving. Handing the other way. A pull-up jumper is well long by Xander Waller. Out of bounds. It'll stay with the Warriors. Or rather the Wildcats. Into Waller. Wasn't touched yet, and now it is. Waller trying to get around Brigham, and he's fouled by Brigham. First foul against Keegan Brigham, and the fourth Warrior team foul. About 30 seconds left, third quarter. Wildcats trying to get it in, they will. Kick back, a corner three on the way is long. Offensive rebound, and a stick back is good by Sam Kramer. 56-13. Warriors, here's Hesser. Hesser back to the top. Swings back to Powers. Powers to Brigham. Brigham. Inside it goes to Elliott. Elliott back to Hesser. Hesser finds Powers. Powers. A crossover, thought about a step back. Goes back to Brigham. Brigham will try a deep three and drill it. King and Brigham from way downtown. And that'll end our third quarter. We've played 3 quarters here at Wahoo High School. It's Wahoo 59 and St. Paul 13. You're listening to the C11 District Final here at Wahoo High School. Welcome back to Wahoo High School in the Class C11 District Final. It's the Wahoo Warriors leading the St. Paul Wildcats by a score of 59-13 here in the fourth quarter. Wahoo is 8 minutes away from a state tournament berth for the fourth straight year. St. Paul back in the district final for the first time since 2020. Driving in Knapp. Knapp down the lane, off the window, no good. And an offensive rebound to Sack. Sack trying to get it to Wells, taken away. Jaden Powers, sidestep, layup, yes! Powers now has 5, and it's 61-13. Sack. Back he goes inside to Koesh, and driving in is Wells. He lost it. And the other way come the Warriors. The other way, lefty layup goes for Jace Kaminsky for Wahoo. And the Warriors have put 4 early on the Wildcats. Sack driving in, crossing over. Sack up at the right, no good. Tipped, out of bounds, it stays with St. Paul. Sack gets it to Thomas. Thomas now to Wells. Wells a 3, no. Out of bounds, it stays with St. Paul with 6:25 to go here in the fourth quarter. 63-13 Warriors have outscored St. Paul early 4-0 in the fourth quarter. Lead it by 50. Thrown in, taken away by Dylan Simons. Up ahead to Powers with the left. Seven now for Powers, and he's got 4 here in the fourth quarter. Under 6 minutes to play, 65-13 in favor of St. Paul. Wells bounces it back to Sack. Sack is fouled by Kaminsky. Substitutions. Kyler Elliott and Keegan Brigham into the lineup for Cody Hesser and Dylan Simons. Back to the top it goes to Gotesh. Gotesh driving in on Powers. Gotesh kicks it back to Thomas. Thomas taken away by Brigham. Brigham the other way. Underneath Kaminsky, away cutting Kyler Elliott, and that's 2 for Kyler Elliott. 67-13 now. Knapp driving in, up, under, and in. Nice move by Bryce Knapp. Elliott, Keegan Brigham, 3, yes! Make it 70 for Wahoo. It's Keegan Brigham from 3. They lead it 70-15. Driving in, Sack. Sack. Taken away. Brigham with the left. Keegan Brigham is putting on a display. It's now 72-15. Now with 8 for Brigham. Sack driving right. Flips to Wells. Free throw line jumper. No good. Rebounded by Kaminsky. Kaminsky the other way for Wahoo. Tried to get a bounce pass underneath. Down goes Gage Sack at about the 3-point line. A 3 by Brigham. And why not? He banks it home. 3 by Brigham. Timeout by St. Paul. It'll be a full timeout. We'll take a 1-minute break here at the Class C1-1 district final. It's Wahoo 75-15 over St. Paul here at Wahoo High School. Welcome back to Wahoo High School, 75-15 in favor of the Warriors here over the St. Paul Wildcats. It's been the Keegan Brigham show here in the fourth quarter. Bringham's got 8 of the Wahoo 14 points here in the fourth quarter. Driving in is Kaminsky, now to Plasek. Hands it off to Kyler Sack. Kyler Sack is going to cross it over. Sack blocked and fouled by Dylan Simons. Second on Simons. 6th Warrior team foul. The clock will now spill under 3 minutes. Kyler Sack will go to the line. And he's no good. One more for Kyler Sack. No good. Defensive rebound by the Warriors. The other way, Kaminsky driving in. Kick, a 3 on the way. Short. Offensive rebound by Simons. Simons gets it back to Brett LaValle. Up and 2 more for Kyler Elliott. He's now got 5. 77-15 Wahoo. Into the corner it goes. Crossing over baseline. It's still alive. And it's taken away by Kaminsky. Kaminsky driving in. Lost it. And that's a double dribble. Kaminsky had a chance at an open bucket, but he fumbled it away. We're down to 100 seconds. It's a 62-point lead for Wahoo, 77-15. Warriors will head to the 4th state tournament. Kaminsky's going to get another chance. Up, layup for Jace Kaminsky. It's now a 79-15 lead for the Warriors. Kyler Sack in the lane. Kicked back out. Driving in. And it's kicked back to Jack Fetty. Jack Fetty to the basket. Fetty lost it going up, gets it back, leans in, up, under, and that's not going to count. That's travel. Traveling on Fetty will give the ball back to to Wahoo, leading by a score of 79-15. This is Hesser. Hesser between the legs. Jace Kaminsky a 3, that's long. And a defensive rebound for St. Paul. This is Joel Schaefer, a freshman. Schaefer up to no good. Kaminsky the board. Kaminsky with half a minute to play. He will dribble it back out. Wahoo has a 79-15 lead with Kaminsky. We're down to 15 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Kaminsky will dribble it out. The horn sounds. Wahoo is going to their 4th straight state tournament with a 79-15 win over the St. Paul Wildcats. St. Paul finishes their season at 10-12, and their 6-game losing streak comes to an end. Wahoo now extends their winning streak to 20 in a row. They're 24-1. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the state tournament. So they are getting the ladders out now to cut the nets.
And to the St. Paul Wildcats on a good season and a district runner-up. A big round of applause. And to the district champions, punch their ticket to Lincoln next week when they play at 9 o'clock. Your Wahoo Warriors!
Wahoo is going to the state tournament for the 4th straight year. They're going to look to avenge a first-round upset loss to Fort Calhoun a year ago. They're going to win it over St. Paul 79-15 is your final. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to come back with our post-game show here at Wahoo High School. Wahoo is going to win 79-15. We'll be back in 2 minutes here at Wahoo High School. Welcome back to Wahoo High School. It's our post-game report. Here are the Class C11 district champions of the Wahoo Warriors. They win at 79-15 over the Wildcats of St. Paul. St. Paul finishes 10-12 on the year. They dropped to 4-6 in road games. Let's go through the final stats for the Wildcats. Sam Wells had 5 points, 2 for Sam Kramer, and 1 for Sean Kaminsky. Bryce Knapp leads the Wildcats with 6 points on the night. For the Wahoo Warriors, Marcus Glock finishes with 9 points. Owen Hancock had 6 points. Benji Nelson finishes with 9. Jaden Powers had 7. Garrett Grangenet had 7. 5 for Trey Simon. 2 for Kyler Elliott. Keegan Brigham finishes with 11 points. Cameron Kasiski had 9 points, and Jace Kaminsky finishes with 4 points, and Anthony Simon leads all scorers tonight with 13 points. And our player of the game for the Wahoo Warriors is going to be Anthony Simon. He finishes with 13 points. He goes 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. So he is our player of the game. Wahoo punches their ticket to the state tournament 79-15 over St. Paul. As the nets are being cut down right now, Garrett Grangenet will get a net as well, I believe. It is going to be Anthony Simon. Right now, maybe, it's hard to tell down there who has a net. But Garrett Grangenet has a net, and then Owen Hancock has a net. So Wahoo is going to the state tournament. They win at 79-15. They go to 24-1. St. Paul drops to 10-12 with the loss. St. Paul season's over. Wahoo goes down. They are going to Lincoln on. They will play next Wednesday at 9 a.m. at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. That'll do it tonight here at Wahoo High School. Once again, Wahoo defeats St. Paul 79-15. Have a wonderful rest of your night. The Wahoo Warriors are the Class C11 district champions.